my channel. My name is Naomi Rook. If you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to ring that notification bell so you can be notified anytime I do upload a video. Today what I'm going to do is a review on two palettes that I purchased from OPV Beauty. They were both on my BoxyCharm pop-up store, so I figured I'd pick them up. The palette looked absolutely gorgeous. It is the Tropical Dreams palette. It is full with blues and greens and some more neutral golds. Gorgeous, gorgeous palette. Absolutely love this color story. Love blues and greens on myself. They're my favorite eyeshadows to wear. So when I saw this and they were super unique colors, I wanted to add this to my collection and try out the formula. I also picked up the OPV Born to Shine blush palette. This blush palette, really beautiful, very pigmented, bright blushes in there. Wanted to try that out. I've been loving blush lately, so I wanted to try out a new formula and try out some really cool colors. I'm going to go ahead and swatch these eyeshadows for you, then I will get into a clip of me applying my makeup today, the look I created, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on this palette. A lot of really nice dark mattes, really great for building up the color. Also some nice light mattes, just so you can add a little transition. One cool tone matte brown, really love this color a lot. It's more of a khaki, less brown, super great color. And then this orange one, which is really unique. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch them. Some of these names I won't know. We have Fifi, Hawaii, Eleiko, Mail, Fiji, Furia, and Monaco. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch those. They are a bit powder when you swatch them, but if you just apply it and then blend it out but in tapping motions, it's fine. So there is Hawaii. There is Eleiko, which is a really cool lime green matte color. Love that one. Here is Mail, which is a bluey teal. That one is not super pigmented. I did use it today so you can see how it applies when I show you how I did my eyeshadow look. Here is Fiji. Fiji is probably one of my favorite colors in this whole palette. It is a very bright chartreuse lime green. Love that color. Absolutely beautiful. Here is the Monaco, really great orange. Here is Santorini, which is a really beautiful blue. Not super pigmented, but you can definitely build it up. And then the Ferrari, which is my absolute favorite one in the whole palette, which is a khaki, kind of greeny brown. Love those colors. Those are the mattes. They're not my favorite matte formula in the world, but they definitely do blend together really well. You just make sure to apply it in like dabbing motions and not blend it too much, because you can get a little bit patchy, but not bad. So there are those mattes. So we have Bora Bora, Maui, Tarkawa Bay, Oya, Kaiua, Palawan, Bali, which is a beautiful, beautiful inner corner highlight, St. Bart's, Bahamas, and Oya. St. Bart's is the one that is on my lid. Such a pretty color. So let's go ahead and swatch those. So here we have Bora Bora, really, really beautiful tealy blue-green shift. Here is Maui, really beautiful green. Tawaki Bay, gorgeous, gorgeous gold. Bali, which is my favorite metallic in the palette, super pretty green, light champagne shift. Palawai, beautiful blue. Cowie, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. St. Bart's, beautiful green metallic. These metallics are really, really silky smooth. Love the way they feel. They're a little bit thicker, so they have a lot of pigment, a lot of punch on the eyes. You don't have to layer them up a ton of times, really just one or two layers, and it's full pigment. Here is the Bahamas, which is gorgeous. And this one is so beautiful. The Oya, gorgeous, gorgeous coppery color. So those are the metallics, really beautiful. I love the metallics in this palette. I would definitely buy this palette just for the metallics. They're so beautiful. They have this beautiful shimmer to it. It's not a glitter, but it's just shimmery. They look wet, super beautiful. Absolutely love the metallics in this palette. I think the formula is really great. So like I said, I've done quite a few looks with this palette. I will pop up the pictures. Beautiful. I really love every look that I've created. If you are looking for a blue-green, metallic, beautiful palette, this is definitely one for you. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Now let's go ahead and move into the blush palette. So this is the Born to Shine blush palette, 6-pan palette. These are definitely a little bit more powdery. When you dip your brush into it, you get a lot of kickback. I would just tap it off. They're very pigmented. These two are not quite as pigmented as the rest. These two are probably a little bit more like a blush topper. And then these four are very pigmented. These two are metallics. These two are matte. This one is a matte, but a sheer matte, and then this is a sheer metallic. So let's go ahead and swatch the two more sheer blushes. So this is the light, the more shimmery topper. This is Lifting. It's a really pretty pink, but very sheer. Here is the metallic one that's definitely more pigment and Smile. Really beautiful, bright raspberry color. Deep Calm, which is a gorgeous burnt orange. Here is Positive. This is the color I bought the palette for. It is a beautiful, cool tone mauve. Love that color. I applied that today. You'll see that in the video. Really beautiful color. And then here is Unstoppable, which is that super, super bright one at the bottom. Very pigmented. Definitely want to use a light hand with that color. But I really did enjoy this palette. So if you like blush palettes, I would suggest this one. I think it is really nice. If you like pigmented blush, you definitely have to use a light hand with these blushes. They are so pigmented. You can get overboard really quick, but I like that because I can layer it as much as I want, because I do like a little extra blush more than most people, and I don't want to sit here and layer up 7 layers of blush just to get the effect that I want. I would rather, you know, do a small layer and then add a little bit more if I want to, instead of having to add a ton. All right, so there is my thoughts on those palettes. If you'd like to see how I get this look, just keep watching. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Santorini color, and I'm gonna put that on the outside of my crease. So this is my 5th time using this eyeshadow palette. I really do enjoy it. I think the colors are beautiful. They're very pigmented. They blend really well. They are so pigmented that you definitely want to make sure you take just a little bit at a time. Don't go in with a ton of pigment on the brush. Dip in just a little bit. You can tap off. Make sure there's not a ton of extra shadow on the brush, just because it will get out of hand pretty quickly. I do love this palette though. It has made me feel so creative. Every time I look into this palette, I do a different look, and they always get just a little out of hand, but like in the best way possible. Always really unique eyeshadow looks. I just love this palette for that, just because it encourages me to kind of step out of my comfort zone and the things that I do normally, and to try some blues and greens in different orders and different ranges on my eyelid, and it's so cool. I really like it for that. Going with this color Fiji, I'm going to put that in the inner half of my crease and blend that out with a smaller crease brush. Okay, I'm going to take an even smaller blending brush, and I'm going to go into the Hawaii color. And I'm going to tap that on the outer V of my lid. I'm using tapping motions because this is a very, very pigmented color. So I don't want it to get patchy, so I'm just going to pat and then blend the edges just a little bit. For being such a dark color, it blends so nice. I don't end up getting patchy really, as long as you kind of use stamping motions. It works really well. The thing about this eyeshadow palette is that with all the colors that I've applied, as dark as they are, there has been zero fallout under my under eyes. There's absolutely nothing that needs to be wiped away so far. I'm going to that blending brush I use for Santorini. I'm going to get it a little bit more on the brush and then just go up top above that and blend it all out. Not too much, just a little bit. I'm going to take a clean blending brush and blend the edges just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to cut my crease. I'll be right back. On the crease, I'm going to take the St. Bart. I haven't played with this color yet. It's super beautiful, really nice, kind of khaki green color. Really excited to use it. So I'm just going to apply that with my fingers. These metallics are really super pigmented. There's so much to them. They're very silky feeling, and they just have tons and tons of payoff. They remind me a lot of the Sydney Grace metallics. I really love them. Take this little flat packer brush, take that Hawaii color, which is that dark blue. I'm going to do a little bit of liner with it. Kind of bring that in. Kind of use that to blend the metallic and the blues together. So there is the eyeshadow look. I'm going to go ahead and do my mascara, do the rest of my face, come back and talk to you about the blush palette. So here is the finished look except for blush, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I will definitely say this is not an everyday makeup look. It is very hard to get an everyday look from the eyeshadow palette because all of the colors are so dark and so pigmented and just beautiful, but they're definitely a little more over the top, a little bit more dramatic. So if you like everyday makeup, I definitely would say that palette's probably not for you. But let's go ahead and go into the blush palette, apply some blush. Also, the blush probably won't match this look because most of the colors on there are very bright. And I normally, with a look like this, I do a little bit more subdued blush, but I figured we would go ahead and do it anyways. So here is the blush palette. It is the Born to Shine blush palette. There are 6 blushes in this. They are super bright and beautiful. I wanted to try this out. So I'm going to use my Profusion. This is the round tapered brush, and I'm going to lay around quite a lot just because I want to try the different colors, and also so you can see them on camera. I'm going to go ahead and start with this light. It was that really light, kind of metallic light pink. Because it looked like a topper, I wanted to see how much pigment it would apply on its own. I definitely see a bit of a glow to it. And there's not a ton of pigment. It is pretty sheer, that one. So it takes a bit of building up. So I guess if you don't like super pigmented blush, that one might be nice for you. I didn't apply a highlighter because I knew some of these blushes had a little bit of glow to them. So I wanted to see how much glow would show up on the skin and if I needed a highlighter afterwards. Okay, so I think that's as much pigment as I'm going to get from that one. Super sheer, but very glowy, really pretty, but didn't add a lot of color to my cheek. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the other side. So next, I'm going to go into this Positive, which is actually the color that I bought this palette for. I thought it was a beautiful color, so I wanted to try that one out. That one's definitely a lot more pigmented on the brush. And I'm going to apply that back here. That is way more pigmented. Holy, okay. That is a lot more pigmented than the other one. And we're just going to do it. We're just going to go all out. It does look pretty thin on my skin. It doesn't look super heavy or cakey. So that's good. Definitely applying way too much blush, but I just wanted to see what it did after I built it up. That is so pretty. I'm going to apply just a little bit across the bridge of my nose. Oh, that's cute. I definitely put too much blush on. I'm going to go ahead and tone it down with my sponge that has a bit of my foundation on it, and just tap that into the skin. That's a really good trick for if you apply too much blush. Just use either your foundation brush or your foundation sponge, whatever you use to apply it, and just tap it into the skin. You could also add a little bit of powder on top if you need to. Alright, so there is the final look. On my lips, I have Dose of Colors Sand and the lip liner ColourPop Beeper. I want to tell you my thoughts on these two palettes. I really think they're great. I think the blush is really pigmented. If you're into blush palettes, that's a good one. I know a lot of people prefer just a single. I most of the time do prefer a single. I just saw that and it was on sale for me, so I didn't want to try picking it up. I think it is beautiful. But the eyeshadow palette, I would say out of the two, is definitely personally my favorite. I absolutely love the colors. I love every single look I got out of it. They're all super unique, super different. And I really enjoy that. They're definitely pushing me out of my comfort zone. They're quite unique, and I really like their formula.